Hand me the teacup. Reading these tea leaves, I read doom and gloom.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! I don't buy any of that crap. This is nonsense.
Fine, we will turn to the tarot deck. You will choose your card.
Death? What? I don't believe this.
According to the card, death is in your future. Fine, we will try one more option. So lastly then, we will look into the crystal ball. Not really liking what I am seeing here. Maybe we should just move on to the Seer character build guide rather than explore these dark times.
Welcome to Nerdarchy, for nerds, by nerds. I'm Nerdarchy Steve, and as usual, I'm joined by this nerd.
Nerdarchy Ted.
You won't need a crystal ball to find your next D&D video if you hit that subscribe button.
And you won't need to divine the future to know what the next Nerdarchy video is if you hit that notification bell.
So, as usual, we will have a copy of our character build guide that you can go download for free or pay what you want over on the DMs Guild. It'll be down in the description. There will also be a character sheet from D&D Beyond, the sponsor of this video. It makes making characters so much easier, planning our campaigns, looking up and researching anything that is official D&D content.
You know, D&D Beyond is a great resource. I use it for all of my, characters, all of my research. But that's not all. There's loads of great free content over there. Whether you want to check out the videos, whether you want to check out the articles, or whether you want to just check out what is all the hubbub with the stuff that's in the basic rules, because you can use that stuff to look at monsters, look at character design. It's super helpful, super streamlined. It's great.
Link in the description. So let's jump into it. You wanted to make this character, obviously because it's a pun and you love puns. So we're going to build Clairvoyant, and Clairvoyant is a seer.
Absolutely. You know, when you look at all the different divination magic that exists within the game, and it's crossed against, multiple classes, how would you not want to make, this kind of character? And with all some of the cool mechanics that there are out there with these classes, you could have a lot of fun with it, and you could really change the course of the game because you already know what's in the future.
So first we're going to look at our race options, and pretty much you could go with anything. I feel like any race is going to have their seers, their diviners, their fortune tellers. But we are leaning in a particular direction. We like the Gith Zerai for various reasons. Some of their spell-like abilities just leans into the type of character that we're going to build, as well as, their stat adjustments.
Absolutely. As Dave says, lots of great choices, but very few of them that are actually going to get anything that mechanically leans directly towards, what we're looking at. So with our background options, you've got, two different ways of looking at this, whether you actively have access to magic and are trying to predict the future, or whether you're, leaning into the, I'm a fraud and I'm trying to bilk people out of their money. You've got Acolyte, you've got Charlatan, you've got Entertainer.
You also have Hermit and Sage as well. Although the Hermit's a little weird because people will have to go out of their way to find you, but in a certain way that also works.
That really does lean into the, I'm going to go talk to the, the wise woman in the woods, or I'm going to go talk to the, the person at the mountaintop. That does feel, natural for, the seer type.
So next up is class options, and here we have 3 of them that we just feel like they work. Your knowledge cleric, your sorcerer divine soul, and also your wizard diviner, obviously.
Obviously, yeah. That's the real, moneymaker if you ask me. All right, so as we stated, we are really looking at, Gith Zerai for our race. It really wasn't a hard choice for us. This fit the most, so that's obviously where we're going to go. And when we're looking at backgrounds, we like the idea of, you start off as a fraud, and then you realize, hey, I can actually legitimately do this. So we wound up going with Charlatan as our background.
Oh, it was a tough choice actually between Charlatan and Entertainer because we were totally going with the Carney fortune teller.
Yes.
For this one.
So Charlatan's going to give us access to skills. We're going to get deception, and we're going to get sleight of hand. Both things are going to allow us to do that fraud stuff as well as that simple magic with that sleight of hand. So very, very useful no matter which direction you wind up, looking at.
We're also going to get access to disguise kit as well as forgery kit. Again, if you want to perpetrate ruses, these things are going to be super useful.
Indeed. So next up, we're going to be looking at class, and we felt that, with this concept of starting off as a fraud but then gaining power, you know, the easiest thing to do would be, well, what happened if a god of knowledge said, you know what, I think you need to make better on what you have done. I'm going to bestow power on you so that you can fix all of the madness that you have already caused. So we're going to take our first level in Cleric.
Yeah, one day you wake up, holy crud, literally, I'm the real thing now. In taking that level of Cleric, we're gonna get skills. We're gonna get insight and persuasion.
This is going to allow us to read our target so that we can be able to further predict and this and that. But it's also going to give us persuasion so that we know how to properly talk to, you know, those that we are going to divine, so that we either don't insult them or, you know how to appease them with, with this readings.
Targets, Ted, it's Marks in the charlatan world.
All right, so, we've got our race, we've got our background, we've got our class, but what are we doing as far as stats?
For stats, we're going to go 8, 10, 12, strength, dex, con, for our physicals.
And our mentals is, we're gonna push this in the other direction. 15, 14, 13. This character is going to be intelligent. They're going to be wise, and they're going to be charismatic. This is a very, cerebral character as opposed to a physical one.
They're already set up very well to get over on people. So first level, knowledge domain is going to give us some more skills. And we're going to take Arcana and History. We're also going to get expertise in these. History is super useful because if you know the region better, it's going to be easier for you to make up stories about the people that live there.
Indeed. For our spells, we're going to get more than this. The ones that are important to take, we're looking at Guidance and Thaumaturgy. This is going to allow us to improve our skills better as we're using them. And Thaumaturgy is going to allow us to produce magical effects while we're doing these readings to make it seem more ominous. But then when we actually want to invoke magic and not be trying to get things over on people, we're also going to have Detect Evil and Good. This is going to allow us to actually sense these presences and be able to know,
if the spirits are actually present or not.
Indeed.
So level 2, we're going to take Wizard, and we want to use an orb as our focus because, your crystal ball, it totally works.
Absolutely makes a lot of sense. And when we're looking at spells, we're looking for things that still give us the ability to improve our performance of what's going on, whether we're just trying to make it seem better or whether we're actually still in that facade. So Unseen Servant, totally going to be helpful. And Tensor's Floating Disc, you could just literally whip your blanket over top of this disc and do a reading right anywhere. So very useful, very helpful.
Yes, I could totally see, like you said, summoning the invisible table, having your Unseen Servant bring your orb to you, as you conjure the spirits. Totally selling. I would totally give my player advantage on any of those rolls they were making if they put that much work into the performance.
And then of course, you've got Thaumaturgy going while the orb is floating over to you by your Unseen Servant. So definitely lots of fun.
So third level, we're just going to take another level on Wizard. So now we have our tradition. We're going to be a Diviner. We get our Portent,
which is going to be super useful with those saved dice rolls. Whether it's going to be, you rolled high and you can save them for you, or you rolled low and you're going to replace what your opponent, your adversary, is using. Again, super helpful in a lot of different scenarios. Portent is a really great ability in this game. All right, so from here we're going to wind up taking 3 levels of Cleric. We're going to get that up to level 4. That's going to give us our stat bump. But most importantly, we're going to get Knowledge of the Ages when we take that second level. What this is going to wind up doing for us is giving us the ability to use our Channel Divinity to gain either a skill or tool proficiency. And when we do this, we are, for this particular character, we're saying we're going to channel the spirit so that the spirit comes down and imbues you with some extra abilities that, you didn't normally have.
And for that 4th level in Cleric, we are going to get a +2, and we're going to take that in Wisdom.
So from here, we're going to add 2 levels of Wizards. We're going to take Detect Thoughts as, one of those spells. Super useful as a good 2nd level spell for us. And, at that 4th level Wizard, we're going to wind up bumping our Intelligence up by 2. Very cerebral character. We got to keep bumping that Intelligence and Wisdom.
Yeah, we're now at 18s in both of those stats now.
So we're gonna take 2 levels of Cleric from here, and with that, we're gonna have to choose some really cool spells. So we're gonna take Sending, Speak with Thoughts, and Non-Detection. That's gonna offer a lot of unique advantages for us.
We also want to get that 6th level channel divinity, and it's going to basically give you a read's thoughts that you can do, but you can also end that as an action to put your victim, person under the suggestion spell. So it's super cool.
So as I said, we're going to go into Wizard. We're going to take 2 more levels. We're going to get Bestow Curse and Clairvoyance as our spells for those levels, because let's face it, those are great things to really be able to put on to this type of character.
Yeah, they're definitely thematic. You can hit them with the Evil Eye, the old whammy, or obviously Clairvoyance is really, it's right in the name of the character anyway. How could you not take it?
Indeed.
Again, we're going to take 2 more levels of Cleric, and we're going to up that Wisdom again, giving us the 18 Intelligence and 20 Wisdom.
So we might as well, do some more with Wizard, get to that next stat bump, and bump our Intelligence all the way to 20.
But why stop there with Wizard? We can go 2 more levels. At that 10th level mark, we're going to get the Open Your Third Eye, which is going to give you some really cool Diviner abilities.
And then we're going to finish off by taking 2 more levels of Cleric. This is going to give us access to Divine Inspiration. It's only a 10% chance for us at 20th level, but that's 10% chance that you could check every day until it winds up working. So very useful for this type of thing. Again, whether you're looking to try and go fraud or be legit.
Yeah, it's nice to have that Hail Mary in your back pocket. It could happen.
it can work. I've seen it work. Not for me, but
those other clerics.
Those other clerics. But when it comes to this, point in the video, we try to say, how do we use this as an NPC, in an actual game?
This is a character that would be great for an NPC or a player character, but super awesome as a foil NPC that keeps reoccurring, keeps popping up. Maybe they're constantly trying to hoodwink the party, but they're not actually malevolent or particularly harmful, but they're a nuisance. Maybe they're greedy. It could add a lot of color and flavor. And it's even better if you can combine that with sometimes they're actually super useful to the party. So you want to probably introduce them that way first, where they do stuff and they're helpful, but then over time it turns out, well, 50% of the time they're helping the party and 50% of the time they're screwing the party. It's not personal, it's just business.
I like that concept as I look at this, kind of, seesaw NPC that, the players have to try and, deal with. Perhaps, this person is, divinely sent, but is not moral by any stretch of the imagination. So when we look at this, it's like, okay, I like the idea of sometimes helpful, sometimes not, but they're involved in it. By random happenstance, even when the party changes to another city, they happen to be there. Oh, it's divine providence that we would meet again. Really? Are you sure you're not just following? No, I went the other direction. Somehow I wound up here. You could have a lot of fun with this. This could be, someone that is connected to both sides. What if they have interactions with whoever the bad guy is of the campaign, or bad person, the villain, if you will. Information could be flowing back and forth between them. Perhaps they're using their magical abilities to literally spy on both of them to try and get one up on either, and to just mutually gain throughout the whole endeavor.
Yeah, they're playing both sides. Also, when you say information, I can also see this as an information broker, where they literally do their thing. People come in and out to them, or maybe they travel, but no matter what, they're gleaning information where they go. No matter where that is, they store that information, and they just have an uncanny ability to distribute it where it needs to be distributed, and they make a tidy sum inside doing it, and they manage to stay on the peripheral of everything and stay out of trouble. But at some point you could have it where it tips too far to one side, and actually they fall on the player's side, and they need to help them, because ultimately maybe they're not really a bad person, they're just a little bad.
Right. And and with that high intelligence, that high wisdom, you've got a type of character or NPC that really does know how to get it over on people. They do know how to say, okay, well, I'm gonna stay out of danger because I know too much, or I know just the right thing to incentivize people to not do this. They know how to take proper precautions of, okay, don't kill me, or this magical thing will happen and it's going to spill all of your secrets. So the villain can't really bring them down, but at the same time, doesn't really want them just wandering freely because they have this important secret.
Yeah, this is the kind of character that knows just exactly how far to push it and then pulls back before they go to the brink.
Right.
Hey, did you enjoy this character build? We have others. Maybe you don't want something quite so cerebral. We have Building the Extreme Adventurer in 5e D&D. Click it up here.
But YouTube's not the only place that we create. You might want to check us out over on Patreon, where we're creating products for 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons every month for DMs and players alike.
That's not all. We do weekly patron-only hangouts, monthly giveaways our patrons are automatically entered in, and more.
So until next time,
Stay nerdy.